I'm Barbara from Italy, from In Europa. I'm glad to host here for the second time the Water Explorer delivery partners here in the countryside between Bologna and Modena. We are in Corte d'Aibo, the place of water. Water Explorer is a very important and exciting experience that we have been running for 4 years here in Italy, like in the other 10 countries, and we are proud of engaging students.
So we're here in beautiful Montevideo, Italy, with the 11 countries delivering Water Explorer for the 2017 Water Explorer Delivery Partner Conference. We're talking all things Water Explorer, from how we align the program to the UN Sustainable Development Goals through to how do we take this program so it's fit for expansion and to get more schools involved than the already almost 3,000 schools taking part across the world. So it's very exciting. We're looking forward to a really fantastic year ahead in the 2017-18 academic year for Water Explorer.
So I'm Vivian from Agado in Germany. Without water, there's no life. Water is so essential for everything we do and need for our daily life. And for Germany, I especially like the concept of virtual water because it links our consumption here to our global responsibility, and that's why I like to use it for education. And this is the link to the SDGs as well, because it's a global responsibility.
Stan Nitak, environmentalist. In town of Pionki in Poland, fishermen realized that water in their ponds was polluted by electronic waste dumped along the banks of ponds. They created a campaign with students to stop it and to recycle waste. So water can be saved by actions.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm here from Global Action Plan Ireland, and we think that water is an issue that is important for all of the Sustainable Development Goals. It is not an issue that is a standalone issue. It links in with all of the 17 goals. Without water, you and me wouldn't be here. And I think it is important to connect the dots, but also to realise that water is linked to issues that are not obvious. For example, reduced inequalities, considering how many women in the Global South need to go and get the water, and how long is their walk, and what are the dangers on the walk. So I think that's something to consider, but also when we talk about responsible consumption, how are the clothes that we wear produced, how many water is needed to produce these clothes, and so on and so forth. So I think it is important to see how are all of these 17 goals connected, and to really focus on the importance of water in it.
I'm Carlos from GAP in Madrid, and we've had around 6 months of no rain. I've come here to Italy and it rained yesterday and all day, which really is important for me because I just saw life there, and it relates a lot to the 15th SDG, which is life on Earth. And I could just see the water all over the land here, and all the trees and all the animals all having a great time seeing this wonderful water spreading all over the place, and which we have not had in Spain for 6 months.
I'm Marvik from Malta. We work with a lot with schools. For example, though Malta is a water-scarce country, a particular school made the Walk for Water. It involves kids going out in rucksacks, carrying 6-liter bottles, and collecting money, fundraising. This way they experience how less lucky kids have to go far away for water, and maybe it's not even good drinking water, and miss school. With the money they collected, they sent it to a particular school which had a water pump installed, and so the kids could go to school and take back water for the families.
Luke Wynn, Global Action Plan UK. To me, the UN Sustainable Development Goals are essentially an absolutely vital plan, a roadmap, I guess, for our planet and our species, for what needs to be done to ensure that we have a sustainable and prosperous future. It's encouraging to see many companies, many governments around the world really taking these seriously and building them into their future plans. But for me, I also see a huge need to engage our young people right across the world in these goals, and in particular the ambitious targets that sit beneath them. Young people are of course our future leaders, but are also potential young leaders of today. And I think it's critical that our young people understand the goals, recognise why they are so important, understand how they apply to their own lives, but also how they apply to the rest of the world, given that they will be the leaders of our communities, of our governments, of our businesses of the future, whose shoulders it will rest upon the responsibility of ensuring we are able to achieve these long-term and ambitious goals. So this is something that we're really working on at the organisation I work for, Global Action Plan, and that is to ensure that young people have the opportunity to engage with, to understand and to be empowered by what the UN Sustainable Development Goals set out to do.
I'm Claire from France. I think water is a great theme to raise student awareness because water is related to all other sustainable development themes such as climate change and biodiversity, and water is everywhere, so it speaks to everyone, and it's a really great theme, entry point to make students aware of their role as future citizens.
Hi, Bridget Ringdahl from South Africa. Talking about water, a huge issue in our country. We're currently experiencing the worst drought in almost 30 years. This drought has started in 2013-14, so we're now into our third year. And our water scenario for the future doesn't look very positive either. So in terms of sustainability goal number 1 on no hunger, this is very relevant in terms of food production into the future. And I think a key thing with water saving, and any water saving measure one tries to implement personally, is that one has to think that it's not just about turning off taps and taking shorter showers. It's about how high up or low down you eat on the food chain. Just some of the facts and figures that are around, it takes roughly 15,000 litres of water to produce 1 kilogram of beef. Now, if you use that same amount of water, you could easily produce over 300 kilograms of beans, peas or lentils, which would feed a lot more people, and is certainly more a sustainable way of feeding people going into the future. How the drought and this has impacted on South Africa in particular, a lot of cattle farmers have lost their herds because there's not enough grazing and not enough water. So if we changed our focus to more of a bean production, pulse production, we'd be able to actually feed more people and also utilize a lot less water in the production. Many of the beans, peas and lentils don't require so much water and are very adaptable to climate change conditions. So I like to think of water saving, probably one of the biggest and best things you can do in water saving personally is to actually make a decision to eat low on the food chain and eat less animal products.
Hi, I'm Johan from Malta. I'm an educator, and for the past 10 years I've been assisting schools in the implementation of international programs. Quite lately we're taking on board also Water Explorer, and I believe strongly in these programs, not because it provides only an opportunity for students to learn about the challenges such as water stress, which is a real and present thing in our country, but also an opportunity for them to develop skills and to help in their empowerment as well. I can share with you one of the activities that was done at a particular school, for instance, and where in the school, in collaboration, the students themselves, in collaboration with the local authority, they were provided with an area, since within their school boundary they had no soft areas whatsoever. So in collaboration with the local authority and also with the architect, they came up with the idea of planting indigenous trees in concrete containers basically, but they had a problem with the irrigation thing, since it costs a little bit more money than actually the money they had to buy the trees. they wanted to think of something for the plants to be looked after, especially in the summer months where they would be away on holiday. So what they actually did was they came up with a brilliant idea of engaging the neighboring community just across the street, and in collaboration with them they made sure that the plants and the trees were being watered regularly throughout the summer months. And luckily and thankfully, this was two years ago, and nowadays they are still thriving. And not something more positive that came out of this is that also the neighboring community contributed by planting their own trees and plants to complement the good work that was being done by the school.
Şadan Ertekin from Mikado Consulting, Turkey. The water is connected through all communities. It is related with SDG 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities. All communities should learn how they do water saving, and they all should be aware of the water is everywhere, so the water is invisible in all products.
Hi, my name is Yael from Switzerland, and for me the SDGs is not a theory, but this is the reality, because I live in the middle of the mountain and we have a lot of glacier, and the glacier melt and the permafrost melts. So this is a real danger for the little village in the mountain. And what we can do for that is maybe some action to preserve the water, the glacier, and maybe the air, or not to use every day the vehicles and the car, but maybe use the bicycle or some stuff like that.
So there you have it, a range of views and input from our amazing delivery partners from across the world, all involved in delivering Water Explorer to many thousands of schools. For more information about Water Explorer, you can go to www.waterexplorer.org, and please do spread the word, and we look forward to many more people joining the Water Explorer family in the years to come.
So we hope you found those voices interesting, different takes and different stories about water and how important it is, the water of life and all that goes with that, and the intention around trying to understand how important water is within the sustainability story.